body as we have it is not only a physical body. We also have a mental body. We also have an emotional body. We also have a spiritual body. Before I go very far, he who controls what you read controls what you think. The diet of all of us, the final product of how we behave, is informed by a variety of activities in our psychological space, in our mental space, in our emotional space, and in our mental space, including our cultural orientation. So by the time you say, I think, or I am saying, half the time, it has nothing to do with what you're thinking. It's what your culture says, it's what your father says, it's what your church says, it's what your community says, and many times you're actually a passenger in your own bus. Question for you, who is driving your bus? What quality of diet are we eating emotionally? People do stuff to you. You have a package, you have a warehouse in your space, in your emotional space, of who has done what to you. I'm grown up enough to know. If some of you right now, we can visit that box right now. In less than 5 minutes, tears will start falling from your cheeks. Because there are some prisoners who are locked up in that corner, whom you cannot attend to. People who have done you bad. Hello? Who've done you bad. Can I be honest with you? Some of them know it. Hallelujah. Some of them, some don't know. Some of them don't even have a clue. It's you every time you see them. And worse still, when you got those people in that baggage, their success is your pain. Their laughter is your tears. Because once you lock someone in a prison of unforgiveness, you become the prisoner in front of the door. Unfortunately, your prison has no door. You are the door. And you can't leave the door. While they're sleeping in peace, you can't let them go. Hear me well. Forgiveness does not do good to the other person. It does good to you. So how about looking at your prisoners and say, go free? Guess what? Their freedom is your freedom. For the first time in your life, stand up from the prison. Tell the prisoner, you're on your own. There's no door. I am going. And walk away. You may find that forgiveness is the biggest freedom you've ever experienced in your life. But are you aware that all of us, after life has injured us, emotionally, we carry a whip to hit the next innocent person over the last guilty one? So many of us in life would mess up our emotional space by feeding on the diet of the wrong people that have injured us. I said, men cannot live by bread alone. I'm going somewhere else. Your emotional diet will determine your relationships that are going to be running the rest of your life. What are you feeding emotionally? Some of us can no longer laugh. Some of us can no longer love. Some of us can no longer be happy. Some of us can no longer trust. Some of us, because something happened. Emotional diet influences the quality of your relationships. So why do you have less friends? Why are you angry? Why are you emotionally locked up? Why are you not laughing out loud? What happened? You may find that the diet you are feeding to your emotion actually destroys you more and more. Number 2, mental diet. We already spoke about light information that we feed in our heads. Information that we collect determines. Oh, I love this one. When the software is messed up and the face is beautiful, hardware suffers. Can I say that slowly? When the software is messed up and the lights are off here, the hardware suffers to compensate for the darkness that is in the head. So many of us would rather have our hardware manage our software, when in fact our software must be managing our hardware. The quality of our thinking will determine the quality of our choices that we make from day to day. The quality of our mental diet will mess up our decision. The quality of our emotional diet will mess up again the quality of our relationships. The quality of your emotional diet, the quality of your mental diet, the quality of your social diet. That the diet of the human nature cannot only be limited to single columns of spirituality and neglecting other areas of life. If you just measure in terms of your diet, you become a supernciller. If you measure only in spiritual food, that those who are so spiritual in their pursuit of heaven, everything else has now become demonic. I must pray for you that the Lord must kill you very quickly, and then you go where you want to go. Because some of us are still going to be here for a long time, and we are not sad yet. We are still happy to be here until the fullness of time. And some of us who just become intellectuals, feeding our minds intellectually, you end up becoming snobs. Those who just know and know and know. And Solomon says, to the reading of books, there's no ending. Too much reading wearies the mind. You may actually end up so educated and yet so stupid. Actually, universities produce educated fools. Those who know more about things and very little about themselves. And ultimately, those who major in social life only become socialites. So if you had 4 hours in a day, out of the 24 hours, I would say begin to have a constant, conscious development of yourself. Developing yourself is not listening to music or take some time to look inside yourself and grow. You cannot live only by bread, but by every word that comes out of the mouth of the Lord. Constant, constructive human development is a balanced diet on your mental space, on your spiritual space, on your social space, and in your emotional space. That's how you grow. Our diet must be emotionally balanced, mentally balanced, socially balanced, and spiritually balanced. In conclusion, when you enter into the most holy place, in the holy place rather, the only diet you find which is being fed in the house, in the sanctuary, is bread. Yeah. 12 loaves of bread from the 12 tribes of Israel that is brought here every morning. Meaning, the supplies of the Lord are fresh every morning. If there is anything that we can eat, it is to eat from the truth of the word that is supplied to us. So I have a question for you. What sort of diet are you feeding on? And I want to challenge all of us for tonight, without being complicated, that in the 21st century, the African needs to start feeding his soul holistically. Come on. Hello? Feed yourself. Go home and make sense out of yourself. My conclusion, don't feed on bread alone. Don't just eat food. Eat other types of food. Find spiritual food. Find emotional food. Find mental food. Find social food. Come on. Tell neighbor, be healthy. Come on, say be healthy. God bless you.